Was Charles Barkley right all along with this take? So, what he's trying to get out of KD is he's ring chasing everywhere so he can go and win rings when he wasn't the bus driver leading his team like what Steph was in 2017 and 2018 and 2019 when they made the finals. So, do you reckon it's just like what he's trying to say is it's all KD's personality and this is why he's going to Miami?
Or wants it to be traded to Miami.
Yeah, he wants to be traded to Miami.
I agree with Chuck.
Yeah.
Because this is what, if KD goes to Miami, fourth contender he's been on in his career.
Yeah.
Fourth super team. If you consider the Thunder
only
a super
time
team.
he's ever driven the bus down a good street was the 2012 OKC Thunder, but you can make a good argument that was Westbrook driving the bus.
No. I disagree.
I'm not saying I agree with that, but I'm saying you can make a good argument about who was driving the bus.
Yeah, I agree.
You can make the argument, but I don't necessarily agree with it. But I think Chuck, and then, well, basically, KD hit back if it will load. If it will load. If it will load. He hit back with these IG stories. And he just said basically, where would Chuck be without all his homies? And really, where would KD be without all his homies as well? Like, where would KD be without Russ? Where would he be without Harden? Where would he be without Curry? Where would he be without Kyrie? Clay and Draymond included.
Yeah, I agree, because, KD, he needs a third star. He can't win with two stars.
Yeah, so I think people look at what the Nets front office did in acquiring Harden in start of 2021. People say it was a failure, but really they had the right brain. I think you need to win with 3 stars. Well, KD does at least.
Yeah, and also before KD requested a trade, nobody's talked about this, but he said he was told the Nets management if they can't trade for a third star, he'll request a trade.
Right. When did he say that? When did he say that?
About an hour before he requested the trade.
Right. Well, so we're not counting Ben Simmons fully healthy as a superstar.
No.
Well, superstar, yes. No, superstar, no. Star, yes.
Yeah, but, I think KD might have wanted Ben to be traded.
Yeah, well, so for, I don't know, Anthony Davis. He's a superstar when he's healthy. When he was healthy in 2020, his only healthy season since, the early New Orleans days, he was a top 5 player in the league.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is why teams could not get past the Lakers in the bubble, because you had 2 superstars and very quality role players around them.
Yeah,
which is a big difference to this year's Lakers, where it's LeBron. You got LeBron, 0 spacing. Anthony Davis cannot play, and you've got just old role players that are inconsistent ever so changing rotations. You know, controversy between Westbrook and Vogel when it came to, being benched in the final minutes of a close game. They just choked away to lead.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that Indiana game where they were up by 15 points. Indiana comes back to win that game, and Westbrook was benched the final 4 minutes. And in a post-game interview, Vogel told the media, "I put the best players in the game that I knew could win me the game."
Yeah, because also in that overtime win versus the Knicks, Russ was benched in overtime, and they won.
Yeah. Well, that was the Lakers choked, the Knicks choked, and the Lakers came back.
Yeah.
It was just one of those games. There's not really any other games that come to mind when I think of stuff like that.
Yeah, there's probably other games, but I just can't
There's
think of
definitely.
them.
I think there was more than a few games.
Yeah, I can't think of any right now.
Yeah. But basically, so you don't want Russ on your team because we all know that KD and Russ's differences. When I'm thinking superstars in this league, you can't be getting Joel Embiid and Jokic, right?
Yeah.
You can't be getting those two. You can't be getting your Giannis's. You can't be getting Curry's on your team without trading Kyrie or KD.
Exactly.
You can't be getting, I don't know, your LeBrons, your Jimmy Butler, even though he's not really a superstar.
Kawhi when he's healthy.
Paul George, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Damian Lillard, you can't be just trading for or even someone younger, like Trae Young or Ja Morant.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't be trading for those guys. And then so he requested trade to none other than the 2-1 seeds in their respective conferences.
I think that's the definition of riding the bus.
He just goes on a bus, sits in the first 2 rows, gets off the bus at the very next stop, and gets the next best bus.
Yeah,
not some bus that's dirty, it stinks, and it's the seats are broken. He chooses the limousine type buses that take people to weddings.
The premium bus.
The premium buses. He takes premium. Well, I mean, the Nets weren't premium when he got to the team. They were a playoff caliber team that had to be split apart to make these trades. To get DeAndre Jordan, to get Kevin Durant, to get Kyrie Irving on the same team.
Yeah.
And then some others had to be removed cap space wise. Because at the time, DeAndre Jordan was someone that you pay $25 million a year. No one's offering more than the veterans minimum at the moment for him. And probably for the rest of his career.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
But I have something that I want to say.
Right.
2020 bubble championship. The replace LeBron with KD, they're not winning this year.
Well, I mean, Kevin Durant was injured all year, so they'd be no more. They'd be no more than a 10, an 11 seed. But I see what you're saying.
Healthy KD.
Healthy KD, yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, replace anyone with LeBron on any of his championship teams, I don't know if they would win the championship. Except if it's Steph or something.
The Heat? 2014?
2013?
2013. Yeah, and in that finals, Steph was double teamed 163 times. KD was doubled once.
Wow. So when I'm looking, obviously it would have been the Cavs because the 2 times that they won the championship was against the Cavs. So
I don't know.
So Ty Lue, even Ty Lue knew. Yeah, sorry.
Even if it was versus the Raptors, that's still crazy. Because
So
6 games, or what were the sweep?
but he played like 3.5 or 4.5 games due to injuries in 2019.
Yeah.
So Ty Lue, with the potential of Nick Nurse, knew that they knew who they would have to double to win a game, to win a final, to win the finals.
Yeah.
Which is,
Because also you have to remember the Bucks games then was literally just let KD go off.
Yeah.
Who was that? I think it was Drew Holiday on JJ Redick's podcast.
Yeah.
Literally said that's what their game plan was.
Yeah, there was a lot of criticism after that Game 7 where KD dropped like 50 and Giannis dropped 40, even though the Bucks won the game. There was a lot of criticism going towards Mike Budenholzer for making no adjustments on how they're going to guard KD. The game plan was throw PJ Tucker on him, switch PJ Tucker onto him, and just hope for the best.
I reckon making that game in Game 7, making no adjustments was the best adjustment.
But here's the problem. Kevin Durant hits the game-time shot over PJ Tucker. When he airballs the shot, Drew Holiday was on him.
Yeah. So I reckon the best adjustment Mike made in that Game 7 was not making any adjustments.
Well, I mean, he ultimately won the game, so you kind of have to say that. But yeah, that's definitely a valid point.
And also, one other thing, as I said earlier, I think KD needs 3 stars, or 2 other stars. Harden was playing with half a hamstring, and I'm pretty sure Kyrie didn't play that game.
Right, so what caliber of player, so let's say I'm the Nets front office, right, and so I've got a point guard, right, I've got a point guard in Kyrie Irving that doesn't play many games.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a point guard in Ben Simmons that also doesn't play many games due to back soreness after.
I know my back sore. I can't
play. After letting out a big one on the toilet during the month of January 2021. Anyway, and then I've got a shooting guard in Kyrie Irving. Now, here's where it comes in. Kyrie Irving's a natural 1, not a 2. Ben Simmons should be played at the 3 or the 4, and not the 1. KD is he's probably a natural 3, but in his time with the Nets under Steve Nash, he's been a 4.
Yeah, and I've only ever watched KD as a 4.
Right. He won 2 Finals MVPs as a 3.
Yeah, I think.
Do I make the adjustment coming into next season if we run it back and the team isn't traded in the very unlikely scenario? Do I play Simmons at the 3 or the 4, and do I play Durant at the 4 and the 3?
Honestly, I'm not a coach at all, but in my opinion, I'm having Kyrie at the 1, whoever they have at the 2.
Bruce Brown's not on the team anymore, but
Joe Harris.
Joe Harris, right? No,
Joe Harris.
Joe Harris. Yep, Joe Harris.
KD at the 3.
Yep.
Ben at the 4.
And then you'd have Andre Drummond was a starting center, but I don't.
He's
know.
in Chicago.
I know, so I've got no clue. Nick Claxton would be at the 5.
Oh yeah, Nick Claxton.
So Nick Claxton will be at the 5. That is not a very great team. I mean, it is, but it isn't.
Yeah,
that will give you
a bunch of nobodies.
With the bench that they've got too, that would just be a 4 or 5 seed every year.
Oh, Seth Curry could play the 2.
Seth Curry, actually. Would I rather? I'd probably have hot take: Seth Curry over Joe Harris when I'm looking at my starting lineup if I'm Steve Nash.
Ooh, okay. I'm having Joe Harris off as the.
Now, both are historically great shooters. Seth Curry has
Highest
not
percentage.
his brother or his dad, the most irrelevant Curry in the family that isn't his mother. But when we're talking NBA players, we're talking Seth Curry's the most irrelevant one. Let's just face the truth. He's got the highest 3-point percentage in the history of basketball. Joe Harris has the most 3 points in Nets history. 3 pointers in Nets history. So historically, are great shooters. But I think I know it's not all stats wise. You don't look at the stats and think, oh wow, he should be. If the Spurs were relying on stats, Jakob Poeltl would be on the bench and Lonnie Walker would be, who knows what position he'd be playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if we were talking about stats on last year's Jazz team, the number 1 ranked team in basketball, Jordan Clarkson and Joe Ingles would probably be in the starting lineup.
Exactly.
You know.
But yeah, back to what we're saying, that Nets team would not be that good.
I think they've got quality pieces on the bench wherever we decide between Joe Harris and Seth Curry. Royce O'Neal, I think he would be better off the bench. I think if the team, if I'm Sean Marks Nets GM, I've got big decisions to make. But I'm a fan of if your star player wants out, get him out. We saw what the Spurs did. He told the front office, yo, my first option's Atlanta. And then my second option is to stay here. Get me off to Atlanta right now.
Yeah.
I don't think DeJounte Murray asked out. It wasn't like the whole Kawhi disaster.
Yeah.
Shut up. It wasn't the Kawhi disaster. But I think body language on Twitter could clearly show that he didn't want to be here.
Yeah, and also there was this report, and like his agent said, it would be unlikely.
Rich Paul.
Okay, Rich Paul. It was like unlikely that DeJounte would have signed an extension.
Which kind of makes me feel a little bit happier when I'm thinking about that.
Yeah.
I'm a Spurs fan. We play unprotected first round picks, so I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but also when I look at the Nets, now this is off the topic of KD, and this is more the Nets' future. After KD leaves, you kind of have to go through that phase again where you got Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, like 2 40-year-olds on your team. And then you just got to build up, not necessarily through the draft, but if someone wants out, you get them out, like D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's about time to end up the video here.
Yeah,
Like, subscribe. See ya.